Students, so far we have used different kind of types which include different kind of data type and declaration of variables on those types, and we learned different kind of operators for different kind of declared variables to make expressions and predicates to describe the properties of software. All this has been done in a relatively unstructured way. Now we introduce the use of schema to impose structure on the declarations and predicates. Therefore, in this lecture, we will introduce the concept of schemas, and we will discuss about different kind of schemas which include state schemas as well as operation schemas, and then we will demonstrate the use of structured schema to specify different kind of softwares, and we will take a case study to elaborate the use of schema, and this case study about counter. Z specification language use state machine model which actually represent the transition in states through the execution of different operations in a system. Therefore, in Z language, we usually model a system by representing its state, and a state of a system is basically a collection of state variables as well as their values, and it also includes some invariant property, and we model some operations that can change its state. Students, Z language is also a natural fit to model the object oriented programming concepts. Therefore, Z state variables are just like instance variables in a object oriented programming, and operations in Z specification language are the representation of methods in a object oriented programming language, and Z even provides us a kind of inheritance. However, Z is not limited just to abstract data types and object oriented style. We can also apply Z specification language in a functional style, or we can use Z specification language to model the concepts of procedural programming languages. Students, the most prominent concept which is used in a Z specification language is known as the construct of schema, and this schema distinguishes the Z language with all other formal languages. A schema is basically a piece of mathematical text that specifies some aspects of the software system, and schema provides structure to the mathematical text, and it provides several structuring constructs called paragraphs. And on the other hand, Z has a feature of schema calculus, which actually facilitate us to build big schemas from small schemas. The schema is a feature that most distinguishes Z from other formal notations. Students, we can raise a question that how can we combine system description in a formal specification and in a structural way. The answer is that in order to formally specify the system description in a Z specification language, we can use the concept of schemas. And schema has a two part. Its first part is a declaration part, and its other part is a predicate part. Therefore, we can combine declarations and predicates into a single schema. Schemas help us model computing systems because they can represent state and the changes in the states. A schema can be used to describe the abstract state of an abstract data type. When the state machine model is used, and we have discussed that Z specification language uses state machine model, and we can represent the state of a system and operations of a system to be modeled through schemas. A collection of schemas models the behavior of our computing system. There are two kinds of schemas, which include state schemas and operation schemas. State schemas basically define state variables of a system and their relations in the form of expressions or predicates. And operation schemas define the functions or events of a system that change the state of a system. And basically, state operation schemas is the representation of use cases, which are basically used to represent a set of actions performed by a system for a specific goal. Students, in this slide, you can see a general syntax of a schema. At the top of the schema, you can write the schema name, and each schema box has two parts. Its upper part is a declaration part, and its lower part is known as a predicate part, and we can write predicates about the system properties here. Students, variables can be listed or separated by semicolon. It means you can write variables in different line, or you can write alternatively the variables in a same line separated by semicolons. In the same manner, predicates in different lines has a disjunction operator or and operator within the predicates. Now we have learned about different kind of data types and declaring different kind of variables on those types. Then we learned about different kind of operators to write predicates, about the system properties, and we have discussed about schema with a structural way to write the Z specification. Now we are ready to formally specify any kind of a system. In order to elaborate the concept of Z specification, we consider an example of simple counter which actually records a count of, for example, cars or vehicles passing a census point, or passing people in an entry point of a stadium, or any kind of count can be recorded through such kind of a counter. When the counter is clicked, its value is increased by 1, and when we reset button is applied, then the counter's value becomes 0. Students, we use state of a system to represent that system. Therefore, system state schema is basically the representation of the whole system, and the state variables are derived from the objective of a software. Basically, for any kind of system, we have an objective to design it. Therefore, from those objectives, we can derive system variables. And in the current example, our main objective is to count the objects. Therefore, there is a single variable which actually records the count of objects. Counter has just one variable which actually record counts. Count can equal but never exceed maximum value. Now we can put the name of that schema as a counter, and its declaration part has only one variable with the name count, and the type of this variable is set of natural numbers. So this is basically an integer variable, a positive integer variable. And in predicate part, we have a invariant property about the counter, that count must not exceed its maximum limit. Students, the predicates written in the predicate part of a system state schema are basically invariant properties of that software, and in the system state schema counter you can see a predicate that count is less than equal to maximum. This predicate basically explains that count must not exceed its maximum limit. Therefore, maximum or limit must be defined globally, and in order to declare global variables, we use axiomatic definition. Therefore, before writing the system state schema, we must declare the variable maximum in the axiomatic definition, and variables defined in axiomatic definitions are global. They can be used anywhere in a Z text after their definition, and this declaration of global variable must be before writing the system state schema. And an axiomatic definition also has two parts. Its upper part is again a declaration part, and its lower part is a predicate part. But the predicate in the axiomatic definition is optional because at design level we should not define the maximum value of the limit in a counter. Therefore, this is more suitable to declare global variable. Students, we have to define the initial value of system state variable, and for such purpose we need to write another schema which is known as uh, state schema with the initial value of the system's state variable. And to write any kind of schema we must write all system state variables in a declaration part, and we must write its invariant property in the form of predicate and the initial value of the system's state variable, because there is only one system state variable in our example, which is a count of type integers. Therefore, at its initial state the count must be 0. Students, you have observed that we are actually rewriting the invariant predicate as well as the system state variable. Instead of rewriting all the variables and predicates, we can simple write the name of a system state schema, and the system state schema include all the system state variables and invariant predicate. Therefore, it is sufficient to write the name of a system state schema, and this convention is just like we write the name of function to be called in a program, or we just write the name of a method where we want to use in a programming languages. Students, now we are ready to define the first operation of our system, which is uh, basically about the adding a count. And in order to specify any kind of operation in a Z specification language, we have to use uh, an operation schema, and operation schema also has its name, and we write here the operation name click, which is used to add a count in a system state variable count. And there are basically two kind of operations. First kind of operation basically bring the change in the state of a system, and other kind of operations which do not bring the change in the state of a system. So the operation click or add count, the name is uh, any kind of name which is meaningful for that operation can be used. You can use the name click or you can use the name add count, whichever convey the meaning of that operation can be used as a name of a operation. So click or add count definitely change the state of a system. For example, the state of a system or count of a system is 0, then by applying that operation the count would be jump from 0 to 1. Therefore this operation would definitely change the state of a system. Therefore we use the notation delta with the name of the uh, system state schema. So system state schema basically uh, adds all these state variables as well as invariant predicates, and delta represent the change in the state of a system. So delta symbol indicates that this is basically an operational schema. For every operation you must have any kind of precondition, and by applying that operation you must have a post condition. So the first predicate, the predicate part basically is a precondition for this operation click. It's mean that by applying the click your count must be less than maximum, not less than equal to maximum. So this precondition must be fulfilled by for applying this operation click, and after applying the operation the count must exceed 1. So count prime is basically the post condition value for the system state variable, which can be achieved by adding 1 in the count variable. Students, it has been mentioned earlier that there are two kind of operations. The first kind of operations are those operations which actually bring the change in the state of a system, and such kind of operations basically read the value of system state variable and bring the change in that value. Students, other kind of operations are those operations which do not bring the change in the state of a system, and such kind of operation just read the value of system state variable. Therefore such kind of operations are known as read only operations. Now we have an operation with the name query count, and we want to read the current value of count in a system, and such kind of operations are represented in a operation schema with a symbol psi. This psi symbol basically mentions that this is basically an operation schema with the no change in the system state. In order to read the current value of system state variable, we need an output variable. Therefore we need to declare any output variable with this symbol of with the sign of exclamation. So we have a new variable which must be declared in the declaration part, and this variable is also an integer variable, and it must be declared. And this predicate basically represents that the value of count is actually the value of the output value of the system count. We have another operation with the name of cancel for undoing the click operation. We can also name it with decrease count, because the cancel operation basically bring the change in the system state variable by decreasing its count. Therefore, the delta symbol represents that the operation cancel is an operation which actually change the state of a system, and the counter basically is the name of system state schema, and by adding this system state schema name, we call the system state schema here, and all the variables declared in system state schema and predicates in the form of invariant are also called here and can be used here. And the first predicate count is greater than 0 is the precondition for this operation cancel, because if you want to decrease the count must be greater than 0. And how can you bring the change in the value of system state variable count? It is basically done by subtracting 1 in the value of the count. In this lecture, we introduce the concept of schema, which is basically a structural way to write the specification in Z language. Then we described about the system state schema to represent the system's state, and then we describe about operation schemas, and we mentioned that there are two kind of operations, and the first kind of operation which actually bring the change in the system state, and such kind of operation schemas are represented by delta, and other kind of operations which do not bring the change in the system state are read-only operations, and the schemas for such kind of operations are represented by psi symbol. And then we discussed a case study about the counter system, and we can describe that how can we specify a system design or system specification to Z schema format. Students, the contents of this lecture are mostly taken from chapter number 5 of the book Software Development with Z. So you must read section number 5.1.1 to 5.1.4, but the case study is not given in chapter number 5. It has been taken from other source. And that's all for today's lecture. Allah Hafiz.